Cynics on Disney podcast contains adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
This is the Cynics on Disney podcast, presented by Nightclub33.com.
Welcome into this week's episode of the Cynics on Disney podcast. I'm your host, Bobby, aka the Disney Cynic.
And I'm Amanda, aka the Anti-Cynic.
And today we are going to review something that I feel like we should have been here before, to be honest with you.
I think we grabbed a drink there before, but
I don't even remember doing that. It's just, you know what it is? It's that it's over by the Lime Garage, and we'll discuss the Lime Garage here in just
we have thoughts.
Yes. We are going to review a restaurant that seems to be wildly popular, and that would be the Polite Pig over at Disney Springs, y'all. So, Disney Springs. I have lauded their parking decks as what I think all parking decks should be.
Yeah.
Usually I start off letting you do history and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna start off with the parking decks.
We've got to get this off our chest, okay? The orange lot is the most efficient parking deck I have ever been in my life. I want it to be how all sports venues, how all venues in general run parking decks.
Yes.
Absolutely. The Lime Garage, on the other hand, needs to be taken out back and shot with that bear that they found over at Tom Sawyer Island, and with the alligators and all. Take it out back and shoot it. It's awful.
Yes, we do have a favorite parking garage at Disney Springs.
Yeah, it's orange. It's orange.
Orange is by far superior.
It's because it's you know what it is? It's because it's an actual cube. You know?
Yeah.
It's just square. It doesn't need to get into the Tetris shapes. You know, like the little T shape. You know.
Yeah.
That's what the Lime Garage does.
Well, plus they also have the security on the side, not in the middle.
Right. This is just anyway. I'm sorry. What were we talking about? Polite Pig? Polite Pig.
Yes.
Yeah. Anywho. Amanda, why don't you give us a little bit of history on the Polite Pig, please?
All right. So the Polite Pig opened April 10th, 2017 at Disney Springs over in the town center area near World of Disney. Okay. It is a locally owned restaurant, and it is the only restaurant in Disney Springs that has a local chef presence. Chef Art Smith is not local to Orlando. He is from Jasper, Florida. So while he is Floridian, he's not local to Orlando.
I feel like this is parsing a little, and this is their way of saying, no, stop eating over there. Don't look at Chef Art Smith.
When I say local, these three people that own it are all from Winter Park.
Yeah.
So, grew up here, didn't go to college here, but came back and opened up the restaurant. So it's owned by James, Julie, and Brian Petrakis. James and Julie are husband and wife, and James and Brian are brothers.
I see. Okay.
All right. This is also not the only restaurant that they own. Those of you who are local to the area probably know about the Ravenous Pig, which is in Winter Park and was the first of their restaurants. They opened that one in 2007.
So he's the ill-tempered older brother.
Right.
Got
right.
It. Yeah, I get it.
And then they opened in
Sal.
Is the Sal a female?
I don't know. I was trying to make a sour joke.
And then in 2012, they opened Cask and Larder in Winter Park, but then in 2016, that moved to the airport. So it's currently at MCO. Both of these restaurants have won numerous awards. I'm talking multiple James Beard Foundation Best Chef nominations. Cask and Larder in 2014 was named Esquire Magazine's one of their best new restaurants. just all kinds of awards. The chefs that have worked there have won all kinds of awards. In fact, one of the chefs who started off at the Ravenous Pig now owns Swine and Son, also in Winter Park. Brian, the brother, he owns another restaurant called Greens and Grill, which is in the Millennium Mall area of Orlando. So that's kind of a little bit there. So these are not newbies to the restaurant business. They've been in it a while. And I know that we've never eaten at the Ravenous Pig, but I know it's an extremely popular restaurant here.
You know, I pass it once or twice a week. And every time that I do, I go, you know, I've been meaning to get over there and actually stop. I'm like, damn it, I'm too busy. And then I forget about it again until the next time that I drive by it. And I'm always not with you when I'm over that way for some reason. Yeah. So
they've also a year or so ago added a brewery to the Ravenous Pig. So there's that. Anyway, Polite Pig. Polite Pig opened in 2017. They pride themselves on using sustainable and local ingredients. They do have a bar, and they serve wine, beer, and cocktails on tap.
Why is it so important that the pig that I'm about to consume come from Orange County? I don't understand it.
I mean, it's nice to know they're helping out like the local. Florida is still and I don't think people realize this, that Florida is still very agricultural. You get out of Orlando and it's a lot of farms.
Duh. I mean,
so it's nice to know that they're supporting, you know, the local.
Sure, but like, I don't think that makes it any better. I guess I don't know.
I don't know. But anyway,
if my pig came from Saskatchewan, I don't think I would be able to taste the difference. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that would be Canadian ham then. So
why? Well, I'm just saying. No,
you don't like Canadian ham.
No, I don't like Canadian bacon. There's a difference. You know why? Because it's not bacon. Trying to say that it's bacon and build off the bacon brand, and fuck you, Canada, for that. This is the reason why I think that this wall that everybody keeps talking about and stuff needs to be on the north. Just saying.
Can I finish?
Please do.
Thank you. Anyway, they do serve wine, beer, and cocktails on tap at the Polite Pig here. Those are provided by the brewery over at Cask and Larder, so it's all like their company. And they have several signature beers as well. They also have a bourbon bar that has more than 60 varieties of whiskey, including the largest collection of Pappy Van Winkle whiskeys in the state of Florida. So there you go.
That is an odd claim to fame. So Limelight issues aside, this is a place that I've kind of had like my eye on to try, but also with a name like Polite Pig and with you not eating pork, it was never one that like was high on my list of things to do together because, you know, you don't like pork. So I don't know. It just kind of like fell by the wayside there for a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we got around to knocking it out.
Yeah.
This is the weirdest setup for a restaurant at Disney Springs.
It was a lot different than I thought it was going to be as far as the setup goes. Yeah.
You don't get an open kitchen, but you do have like a fish tank of a kitchen.
Kind of, yeah.
You know, I got to be honest with you. I've always wanted to see how barbecue is made. Don't get me wrong. But also I would much rather see it from like some old shack that is very clearly like a fire hazard and you don't understand how it's not already burned down 4 times.
Right, because that's going to have the best barbecue.
Correct. Yes. And when it's a nice, pristine, clean environment like it is over at Polite Pig, it kind of makes it go, I don't know.
Look, there are certain things food-wise.
Need to be dirty.
Like, yes, for the what?
Certain things need to be dirty.
Right. Waffle houses and barbecue restaurants. trust a clean Waffle House.
I don't blame you. There's a couple of them down here, and those
Yeah.
are in the most dangerous part of town.
Right.
So
I don't trust them.
weirdly. So yeah, I was a little bit weirded out by this. I was also weirded out because it's not a table service restaurant. For all that's being said about it, it's technically quick
I
service.
thought it was for a long time too.
Same. Like I thought you had to get dinner reservations and shit.
Yeah.
No, you just walk up and
It's quick
start ordering at
service.
the counter.
Now, it's quick service, but it's quick service like deluxe burger, where you order at the counter and then you go sit down and then they'll bring your food to your table. And then we were told if we wanted to order anything else, we just order from the guy at, I guess the server.
Yeah. And we did not, but obviously
No.
that's a ploy to get more alcohol. So basically he's your drink server and he
Yeah.
will bring out your food, but he's not actually taking your order, I guess.
Right.
And that's a weird setup for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not opposed to the counter order for food, but like at a Disney restaurant, like that's a bloodbath that I don't know that I'm ready to have over at Disney Springs.
Now, I will say this. This is not the only barbecue place that I've eaten at that's set up like that.
No.
There's a Shane's in Atlanta. Is set up like that. So,
Yeah,
where you order at a counter and then go sit down and they bring it to you.
There's dozens of barbecue
Yeah.
places, dozens, hundreds, thousands, perhaps even that operate the exact same way. We're just noting that it's a very pristine environment, and for one, and it's just an unexpected thing compared to the rest of Disney Springs. It's not what you
Right.
would expect at any Disney facility, I guess.
But again, like I said, deluxe burger set up the same way, and that's also at Disney Springs. So it's not the only Disney Springs restaurant like this.
I mean, yeah, I guess, but it's a little different because did deluxe burgers? I think they had like a signature cocktail or some shit. But did they?
They served alcohol.
have
They didn't have a
bar?
bar. They didn't have a bar though.
Okay,
Not like
so
Fly Pig.
that to me would seem to be the differentiating factor. I thought that to be a table service, or to have a bar, you had to be a table service restaurant.
Apparently
I guess not.
At least not in Florida.
I don't even think it's like just a Florida. I thought it was more like a Disney specific thing.
Yeah.
Like,
No, apparently not.
Whatever, it's fine. I had the pulled pork plate, I guess, and it comes with a piece of cornbread. I believe it's jalapeno cheddar cornbread. And then it does come with a side as well, and coleslaw. And I don't eat coleslaw. Really, what are we doing here? Putting rotting mayonnaise on cabbage? Who the fuck thought that was a good idea?
Coleslaw's delicious.
I don't understand you people. I just, cabbage in general, just there's no never mind. This is like Brussels sprouts. Anybody who says, "Oh, you've just not had good Brussels sprouts," that implies that there is good Brussels sprouts, and that's just not the case. It's really not. Like, I don't care how you cook them. If you have to only cook them one way to make them good, then you don't have a good food. You can do a lot with cow. You can do a lot with pig. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, speaking of cow and pig and everything, I also got a side of mac and cheese because you know what? I wasn't feeling fries. I wasn't.
Yeah.
And honestly, I looked at the menu beforehand and thought that they only had sweet potato fries, but apparently they have regular ones too. So.
Yep.
What'd you have?
I had the smoked chicken salad wrap. I'm going to preface all of this by saying that I am on a diet.
Mm-hmm.
And this restaurant did not provide things that I actually am supposed to be eating.
Right.
I legit ate things that I'm not supposed to be eating because I didn't have a choice. So just...
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I mean, I could have gotten a salad, but nah.
Who
They
gets
have
a
2
salad at a
salads.
barbecue restaurant?
Well,
In
and they
fact,
have 2 salads, and neither one sounded good.
I think that it's unhealthy to eat a salad at a barbecue restaurant.
Well, and also my thing with salads is part of my diet is cutting back on like the added sugar and stuff, and dressing's gonna have a lot of that. So,
No.
um, that's another reason why I didn't get salad. But anyway, so I had this smoked chicken salad wrap that seemed like one of the healthier options.
Okay.
So it's got spinach, it's got roasted tomatoes, dried cherries, sunflower seeds, and and an avocado puree. Um, and I also had waffle fries because they have sweet potato and they have waffle. So I got the waffle fries. Again, I'm not supposed to do that because I'm not supposed to be eating like basically the only potato that I should be eating is like sweet potato.
And
But
it shouldn't be fried. Everybody shame
right.
her. Just shame her for
Don't
eating the
shame
waffle
me.
fries.
Hey, I've
Well, what do
done
you
good
want?
other than that.
We've
I've
been
done
doing.
good.
There's a lack of dining reviews here in the near future. Just understand that this is the reason why. But
I'm I'm still like very new into this, and this is like a diet for health reasons, not because I want to. It's
yeah.
because my
So
doctor flat out looked at me and went, "You can't eat this food."
now just check in on her every now and then. Say, hey, how's the diet? Give her a little
it's
public pressure. How's that?
so far it's been going good. So,
I think I'm the
but like
first
I
man to
said,
get away with shaming his wife about a diet on the
I
internet.
mean, you're not shaming me. I tried. I went for healthy, a healthier option.
Healthier, sure. We can go with that. That's fine. Um, all right. What'd you think? First of all,
I really liked the wrap. I will say this: I should not have gotten the fries because that was too much food for me.
okay.
The fries, and I'm not saying this because the fries were bad. The fries were good. But I could only eat about half of that wrap. Um, so I mean, if I wouldn't have gotten the fries, I probably would have been fine with the whole wrap. But that's a lot more food than it looked like and that I thought it would be. So yeah,
Okay.
I liked it. It was a lot better than I thought it was gonna be.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. It's not that I didn't like the food. I did. Mac and cheese was okay. I got to be honest with you. It was a little creamy for my preference.
Ooh, oh, but I love the creamy mac and
Um,
cheese.
and the goldfish crackers, it's a little much. That's all I'm saying. Yeah,
Is that what that was?
yeah, it's either that or Cheez-Its.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm pretty sure it's the same thing, just different shape.
Yeah.
They just didn't take the time to put the little smiley face on the. Although they should, based on
Oh,
those, college football
on the commercials.
Yeah. I woke up feeling cheesy's coach. Okay.
I can't wait till those come back.
Look, I have been desperately awaiting the return of the boy band from that one AT&T commercial for the last like 5 or 6 years. But
Oh my god, I forgot about them.
that was fantastic. It's one of my favorite commercials ever. But the pork itself tasted fine. But it was a lot greasy. Not a little greasy.
Okay.
It was a lot greasy. And that grease kind of accumulated in a not so pleasant looking way for me. Anyway,
Mhm.
at the bottom of a little food holder, like one of those paper food holders.
Yeah.
And it just, it's like I said, it's not that it tasted bad. It's that, oh, good God, could you just cut the grease just a tidbit?
Yeah.
Like I'm expecting some grease.
Right.
Some grease is fine. But like to have it pool like it did just kind of
Yeah.
weirded me out a little bit. And honestly, like I was hungry, but I wasn't starving anyway. So even if
Yeah.
I really, really like didn't get kind of off put by that, I probably wouldn't have necessarily finished it anyway because of just my general appetite right
Mhm.
now.
Yeah.
But it wasn't bad. Here's the
Okay.
thing, though. It I have a tough time comparing this one to something else. Because you look at some of the other places that offer barbecue on property, for instance.
Right.
I would say that's Whispering Canyon is one. Woody's
Woody's
Roundup
Roundup.
Rodeo is
Um,
another. Most of it, I think they're all either family style or something similar to that effect. Like they come out with a plate of everything.
yeah.
I guess,
Yeah.
sort of. And that's not the case here, and that's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. But because of that, it's way more expensive to have barbecue elsewhere on property.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that this is any better quality than that. But you pay more, but you get more at one of those family style ones. So this is kind of like a tougher one to have a comp on property to.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the price wise, like my wrap. Now, my wrap didn't come with the side, so we did have to pay extra for the fries. Um, but my
So
wrap
you're
was
the reason it was expensive. Okay, got it.
my wrap was 13, and I think the fries were like 5.
But that's so unconscionable that fries are $5. But okay,
$6, excuse me.
Jesus.
$6. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, there's that. I think mine was 18.50 plus I got a Diet Coke, so I'm
Yeah.
sure that was $7.
And I had a bottle of water, I think. So
Yeah. So overall, look, we got out of there for 50-ish bucks. I
yeah.
think I threw in a tip that made it like an even 50 at that
Yeah.
point. And that's not terrible
No, not for
for,
Disney.
but it is terrible for quick service, but it's
Which
definitely
is
not
what
terrible for barbecue. And that's why I'm struggling to rate this. Look, it took me a long way to
Now,
get here, but I needed to
yeah.
explain to you my thought process
Now,
on this.
I do want to add something in that I did not know at the time, but now know after doing my research. Polite Pig is one of those restaurants that tends to be crowded, like a lot. I'm actually shocked it wasn't. We got there in time when we ate there because not long after we sat down, it started to get kind of crowded.
A little,
Um,
but also, look, right now, I don't know what it is. I think it's just because like people are just traveling differently now in this day
yeah.
and age. But it has not been overly crowded here of late.
Right. Well, and also we're past like 4th of July is over. School down here, like I go back August 2nd. So I think, we're in the last like 3 weeks of summer for a lot of us, in the South anyway.
Sure,
And, so I think, people are starting to kind of get back in that mindset. So traveling is starting to kind of dwindle a little bit. But for those of you, if you want to try this out, or if you've tried it out and you like it, if you go and it's really crowded and you really want some food, but you don't want to like wait there for it, you can order online and take it back. Go pick it up and take it back to like your resort or find somewhere else to like sit and eat. But yeah, you can order
yeah,
online.
that's what I want to do.
Not
Is
mobile
go.
order through the app. I don't know if they do mobile ordering.
No, they don't.
But they do
And
have if you go to their website, you can order from their website.
talk to me when they have the Uber Eats equivalent with the minivan.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's not they don't deliver it. You gotta go pick it up.
Yeah,
But for those
that
of if
doesn't.
you're staying on property and just want to like go grab
And
something and
you
take it
have a
back to your
car,
resort.
apparently.
And you have a car.
Because I would not
Yeah.
recommend busing it
No.
to Disney, especially Disney Springs, especially to this side of Disney
I
Springs, because
mean,
it's not close to the bus stop even.
if you were riding the boats from like the Port
The
Orleans.
Sasagula resorts.
Yes, the Sasagula resorts, then yeah. So like Old Key West, the Port Orleans, or walk over from Saratoga.
It still feels like a half an hour, 45 minutes to
I
just
know. I mean, I'm
transport.
not saying, I'm saying, even then I'd be kind of like me. But I would definitely recommend driving and park in the Lime Garage because it is right there when you get out of that Lime Garage.
But don't park in the Lime Garage for anything else.
No,
because it's the
only
worst.
park there if you were going to Polite Pig.
Exactly. Solid advice, I feel like.
Yep.
I don't know. Amanda, on a scale of 1 to 5 polites, how many pigs are you going to give it?
I think I am gonna go with a 4.
A 4. Okay.
4.
It's pretty darn strong.
It is. I do. I mean, I don't eat pork when it comes to barbecue, but I do like a good barbecue chicken, and unfortunately, get that. But I mean, it was a good wrap. Like I said, a lot better than I was expecting because I'm not an avocado fan, so that avocado puree kind of worried me a little bit. Um, but it was good. Again, I shouldn't have gotten the fries. I don't like that it didn't come with the side and that was separate. But yeah, I mean, good place to get some decent barbecue or barbecue adjacent food.
Okay. Fair enough. I think I'm going to give this the Prince symbol.
Okay.
As I've stated a couple of times now, I have no idea how to compare this thing. I don't. It's the most expensive quick service, which
Yeah.
That's frustrating. Or it's the least expensive barbecue.
Barbecue. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't want to go with something like an ampersand or a question mark, or even like the @ symbol or anything like that. I felt like I needed to have more flair, so I went with the Prince symbol.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's my rating for this.
There
I
you go.
feel like I'm justified. I
Yep.
feel like that's exactly where I'm at with it. It's not bad. It's not great. It is Schrodinger's barbecue.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Your mileage will vary. I can only
Yeah.
imagine that it will
Yeah.
vary. Which is all the more reason to give this the Prince symbol.
But again, if you are like me and you are, trying to cut out my thing is I have to cut out carbs. This is not the place to do that. It's really not. There's not a whole lot. I mean, it's a barbecue place. There's not a whole lot of healthy options anyway. So
yeah, there you go.
But just know that I'm trying because I'm having to kind of be more mindful of what I'm doing. So I'm trying to kind of bring that into our reviews a little bit. So again, if you are someone who is having to kind of be more mindful of what you're eating, definitely look at the menu. I'm sure you can find maybe something, but there's not going to be a lot as far as
not going to be a
lot.
But there is a vegan food truck that's over by the M&M shop, just in case you want to tempt yourself with diabetes.
That one you will park at the Orange Garage for.
Solid advice. All right. Before we get into just like a tidbit of news, not a whole lot of news, we do also want to pay tribute and review for one final time before, well, it's already started happening.
It's already closed.
Really.
Yeah.
Yeah. The renovation takes place. Before it did close up, we did go see one attraction over at the Magic Kingdom. And if you think that I'm talking about a bunch of bears belting out Nashville tunes, you would be incorrect. The hell with that. I'm so glad it's gone. Instead, we went to go see the Frontierland Shooting Gallery.
Yep.
So there you go, kids. About damn time you showed up. Amanda, do you have any brief history on the?
It is very brief history. There's not a ton of history here. This is it was an opening day attraction, so it's been there since day one. It simulated the shootout in Tombstone, Arizona, over Boot Hill in 1850. So if you did not know what you were shooting at, then that's what you were doing. So just so you are aware, you were pretending like you were in Tombstone, Arizona in 1850. There were a total of 97 targets. Now, originally, when it first opened, The guns did shoot lead pellets.
Okay.
So
That tracks.
we were giving children loaded guns.
It was a different time, shall
It
we
was a
say.
different time.
Lee Harvey
They
Oswald ordered his gun through the mail. This
sure,
was a different
sure,
time.
sure. They did end up replacing those guns with infrared light rifles. Um, I'm sure children having, loaded weapons had something to do with it, but the real reason was because they were going through 2,000 gallons of paint a year, having to repaint the targets almost every night. So that they were like, you know what, fine, we'll just do something where we don't have to repaint the targets every night.
I
Um,
totally understand the cost issue with this, and
yeah,
yet at the same time, a little weirded out, just a little, uh, that the Frontierland shooting arcade upgraded to laser guns.
they did. They did upgrade to laser
So
guns. I don't know when that could not find like a date when that happened. So if you know the date or
I
year
don't.
or whatever,
I don't.
leave it in
Comment
the
below if you
comments.
do.
Yeah. But the shooting arcade closed on your birthday, June 23rd, 2024, and it will be replaced by a DVC member lounge.
Yes, because what that park needed was another place for DVC members to go get nachos, or not even nachos, nacho cheese Doritos, and
Did Magic Kingdom have a
no, it doesn't.
okay. Yeah.
And look, if I was a true DVC member, I might think a little differently about this, but like part of I think my problem with the parks here of late is the lack of whimsy, if you will.
Yeah.
And there is a certain amount of whimsy to be had with a father teaching his young lad how to point and shoot a gun, even if it's a 3-year old, even if it's, you know, something as silly as uh, a shooting gallery at the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
There's just like a bit of Americana to that, and that I'm
Yeah.
kind of nostalgically disappointed to see go. Um,
Yeah.
that's that's all I'm gonna say. I'm not saying save this attraction or chain yourself to this shit or any of that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. This is not the hill to die on when it
No,
comes to
it's
Disney
not.
parks. But it also signals, another problem that I think I'm really having with all of the park stuff.
Okay.
And that's until we get to D23, and this will determine whether or not I have a positive or a negative outlook for the years to come. Um, we have not really expanded much as a theme park, so to speak. We have done nothing but close and remodel existing attractions, and yeah, okay, like some of them need to be updated, some of them need to be changed. I'm not saying that everything should be set in stone by far, but at the same time, like part of the reason why it was so exciting for the 90s, and why a few months ago, one of our first video shows, we did that 90s versus now thing. The parks were always expanding. The parks were always opening something new and different. They weren't closing.
We were getting new parks.
We were getting new parks along with new lands and new attractions within those lands that were built like into spaces that weren't filled in, basically,
Right. Right.
and now we like Tomorrowland is a poor example, I think, because Tomorrowland has gone probably through the most amount of change based on solely that like technology caught up to whatever or in fact exceeded in many ways to whatever futuristic viewpoint they were having
Right.
over at Tomorrowland. But like
Right.
something like Frontierland, it feels like should kind of stay stagnant and not change very much.
Yeah,
It's
because it's
just the
supposed to be in the past.
Right.
Like you're
And
supposed to feel like you're in, the 1800s.
Mhm.
So
I feel like you should be feeling out of place by not wearing cowboy boots and stuff like
yeah,
that, or
yep.
one of those ridiculous hats. Which, I mean, I guess I understand why the hats were the way they were, to like give you a little bit more shade, particularly around the neck. But why did it curl? Why did they curl up like that?
I don't know. I
Just
don't know.
seems weird. Well, you're all Southern and stuff. I don't know. I figured you
Okay,
might have an
I'm
insight.
Southern. I'm not country.
Whatever. It's the same
Now
thing.
I can ask my relatives. I mean, I legit have an uncle who now lives on a ranch in Oklahoma. Uh,
Let's talk about my worst nightmare. Just a ranch. Ugh, in
yeah, he's got a
Oklahoma.
couple. He's got a couple of horses.
I
Yeah.
ugh, that's never been so disinterested in something in my life. Oh God, that sounds terrible. Um, like now I'm just jarred. Thanks for jarring me
You're
like
welcome.
that, Amanda.
You're
Um,
welcome.
certain other things I feel like need to change and go. Don't get me wrong. I
Yeah.
feel like Epcot's attractions could always be different and better, because I hold
Yeah.
Epcot to, I think, a higher and different standard than certainly anybody who's been a huge fan of the parks since, say, 2008.
Well, I mean, it literally
That era.
stands for, experimental prototype community of tomorrow.
Sure, absolutely. But like when they replaced World in Motion, they replaced it with Test Track. When they replaced Horizons, they replaced it with Mission Space. And say what you will, I'm pretty sure that Mission Space is a lot more thrilling than Horizons ever was. Um,
I
just
mean,
throwing it out
Guardians
there.
is definitely more thrilling than
Universe of
Ellen's.
Energy. Yeah, absolutely. So there is that one thing that they've done okay on. But again, Guardians just does not fit with the original Epcot aesthetic. And like you know what I want? Here's what I want. I want a new country over at Epcot, and I want them to start opening up attractions. Because I read an article
Yep.
this week, and this is not necessarily news, it's more opinion news, but I read an article this week that people only like going to Epcot because
To
of
drink.
the beer.
Yep.
There is absolutely truth to that.
Hmm.
It's not 100% true, obviously. No, not everybody who goes to Epcot's an alcoholic. And no, just because you like going to Food and Wine, that doesn't mean X, Y, or Z about it. This isn't a judgment thing. But let's be honest about it. Like, where else are you going to go to like exercise those kind of adult demons that's inside of a theme park
Right.
like that?
Right. And Epcot has always been my favorite park. I think from my first visit at 9 years old, and that was before the whole drinking around the world thing became a thing.
Oh, no, it was always a thing.
Yeah, but now it's like
It's
that's
ubiquitous
what.
now, but it was always a
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
But it's before it became like the thing that Epcot is known for.
Sure.
And I loved World Showcase because I'm a history teacher and I'm fascinated with,
Well, you weren't when you were
you know,
9.
no, but I've always been fascinated with history and other cultures. And that's why I'm a history teacher now, because I've always had that fascination and
There,
that love.
but see,
But there was stuff for kids to do. Now it is seen as the adult park. It's not seen as a
hold on.
park for kids.
I don't have a problem with it being a spot for adults. Okay, like believe me, I wish there was more spots for adults. To be honest with you, but at the same time, though, like it's, I guess more of the problem that I'm having is not that they're working to expand Epcot and maybe add a country. They're looking to, well, let's just do food booths, because
Mhm.
that's what we'll give people is food booths, not something interesting like the Mount Fuji roller coaster.
Right.
that never got made because fucking Kodak was a sponsor. What a bummer.
Yeah.
Of God, what a bummer.
Yep.
That's the reason why,
That's
because
the reason.
Kodak said, we don't
Gator
want our
Fuji.
competitor.
Yep. Gator
Ugh,
Fuji.
it's so frustrating. It genuinely is. I can't with it. But like that would be the thing to do, is to like add more stuff to World Showcase that's permanent,
Yeah.
not like temporary stuff, because I kind of feel like World Showcase is turned into like a country fair to a degree.
I
And I
also
don't mean
feel
that
like
I don't mean that like, oh, countries around the world. No, I mean like an actual country bumpkin fair out in the woods somewhere with tents that just serve
there are
drink and
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. I mean, also, we're starting to see a lot more, I guess you could, I mean, bad behavior, um, particularly at Epcot. Um, why people don't understand that you don't get in the water here in Florida. Like, I know Disney is like, oh, well, we try to remove the gators, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. You know what they can't remove? Do you want to know
Brain
what they
eating
cannot?
amoebas.
Right. Right. That is 100% a thing in the lakes. So if it's not the gators and it's not the snakes, it will be the brain eating amoebas. Don't jump in the water. Stop it. Also, don't get in that fountain in France. What are you doing?
Well, they're drinking, and that's what it is. And look, I don't have a problem with you drinking and getting
No.
messed up. Like I have a problem with you acting like an asshole.
Right.
So like, drink to your heart's content, and also maybe like pepper in a water or two every now
Yeah.
and
Or some
then. Every
food.
now and then. Yeah, especially
Some
if the
food.
boots are open. But
Right.
I don't want to get rid of that element
No.
necessarily, but I want there to be more permanently affixed things. I want there to be another like hard attraction over there, other than me dropping dimes on some fucking spring rolls and stuff. It just,
Yeah.
or that shitty mac and cheese cabbage bullshit that was over at Germany. Oh God, this is the worst. Money was spent on that, okay? And I can't condone that. I can't condone that. Like, ugh, it's gross. Um, by the way, just apropos of nothing, uh, I think the other reason why people jump in the water is because it's fucking hot.
Yeah. Go find somewhere like a shade or air conditioned building.
Sound advice if you are in fact a guest at Walt Disney World. But what if you were a cast member at Walt Disney World?
Oh, well, then you might not have that opportunity.
That is extremely true. And how's about that for a segue?
Look at
Huh?
us. Look
I know.
at us.
I know. I'm ridiculous. So, according to a recent story that came out here in Orlando, um, apparently a couple of union members have filed complaints about having to work outdoors with the while being performers specifically
Mhm.
over at the Beauty and the Beast show over at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Apparently, the guy that was playing Beast just straight up passed out in the suit.
Whew.
And look,
Yeah.
it has absolutely been a scorcher here. No more so than normal, though.
Like, yeah, but our heat indexes here lately have been in
Yeah,
the
it's
hundreds.
been in the hundreds. Don't get me wrong, but that's not uncommon for Florida in July, especially late July. Once we get into August and early September, it's always hot down here for July.
Now, let me say this. Okay, actually, you know what? I'm gonna let you finish, and then I'm
Thank
going to
you.
say what I was gonna say
Thank you.
because I
The
think there needs
story
to be context.
goes, the story goes, though, that Disney had a broken air conditioning system where the cast members were supposed to be dressing out for their various performing activities. So, on top of that, they did not provide them with cooling when, and honestly, like you need air conditioning down here. You just do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Especially if you are going to be outside performing like that.
Yeah.
You gotta provide that. Apparently, this air conditioner's been broke since November, though, and it's
Okay.
just now coming to a head. And now that the guy passed out, and now that a union complaint has been filed, now they
Mm-hmm.
fixed it.
Yep.
That
Um,
is crazy.
it is crazy. Unfortunately, our governor has allowed it to happen.
Ish. Let's not get into that. No, we can't go.
I'm just saying.
We're not
I'm
going
not.
the union anti-union route. We're going by right and
No,
wrong.
I'm not. I'm going. He signed a bill saying companies didn't have to provide protections.
Okay. There
That's.
are other elements to this that go beyond that. Okay. It's not, I hate this without the context of it, but there's way more to it than that. If you were to arbitrarily and universally enforce certain standards, you are never going to be able to get certain types of professions done. So no, he does not endorse a statewide bare minimum heat standard or what have you. But that doesn't mean that other unions can't fight for one.
Right. No. I am not saying in any way, shape, or form is Disney off the hook for this. Disney should that air conditioner should have been fixed in November.
Absolutely, especially because it's easier to get I know this for a fact. It's easier to get a technician out in November, especially on a commercial job, than it is, especially there,
But
than it is to get
here's the
someone out.
thing.
But
I know that the characters are on, and people will gripe. I have seen so many people like they'll get in line to meet a character and then that character has to like take a break and they'll be back in like 15, 20 minutes. And I see people all the time get so upset because they've been waiting in line. They are required. I believe they can be on stage for like 20 minutes and then they are required to go and take a break because that costume is hot and it's hot in Florida. Like they have to or they're going to do what the Beast did and pass out on stage.
and
And you don't
obviously,
want that. That's
obviously,
traumatizing.
we want to make sure that all the cast members are safe.
Right.
We want to make sure that everybody is happy and healthy. That's not at all where my counter to any of
No.
that.
No, and I'm
would
not
come.
saying that no. This should I can't I'm so mad that Disney allowed this to happen. Cuz it's absolutely ridiculous that it took a character fainting on stage in front of people for it to get fixed.
And so part of the article was like the melodrama of it, and the melodrama was a little much, because like one of the people interviewed, I believe that they were anonymous, but they said that they performed in the same show. Well, you can't go out and help your friend. And I'm like, okay, all right. First of all, yeah, you want to make sure that the guy's okay. All right, I get that, but I can see like some crocodile tears, I believe that they're known as, coming out of
Yeah.
this person's ears or eyes, not ears, not ears. Tears don't come out of ears. Although that would be cool. If you can somehow cry out of your ears, please comment below. Yeah, these are the kinds of comments that I'm soliciting. So hopefully, thank you for making it this far. If you can do that,
Okay.
look, it's just yes, you have to take breaks, and yes, and this goes to what we try to tell resort guests as well. You've got to take breaks. You've got to hydrate, and you got to seek out air conditioning where you can find it. And this is the I guess the big problem with Disney right now is that look, half of this stuff, this is a leftover from from the Chapek regime when he was actually running Disney World.
Mm-hmm.
They were concerned so much about the month to month, hell, probably week to week bottom line when it comes to all of this stuff, that they're taking a very short-sighted view of things like basic maintenance, and this is
Mm-hmm.
where it gets you. We get to this point where
Yeah.
the country bears are on fire, apparently. We get to this point
It
where,
just reopened.
yes, it just reopened. We get to this point where half these amazing animatronics that were being made out in California for Tiana's don't work because it's too humid inside of their ride building, and nobody thought, gee, it's humid in Florida. We should probably put some like epoxy on that so that the part doesn't break. Like,
Right.
these are the kinds of things that Imagineering is not thinking of, and
It
maintenance
shouldn't
is
have
not able to
taken.
perform.
It shouldn't have taken them as long as it did for them to refurbish Rock and Roller Coaster, because
It
that
caught on
thing's
fire.
been catching, but not just one time either. Like, that's the
No.
thing. Like, after the first time it caught fire, that okay, we are refurbing and trying to. No, I was in line for it when it caught fire.
You're never gonna let that one go, are you?
No, I'm not. Okay. Because that wasn't the second time. It had happened. Like, it became a running joke about Rock and Roller Coaster. Anytime it was closed during the day, okay, well, must have caught fire.
Car is on fire.
Yeah. Exactly.
This
Exactly.
limo's on fire. Banger of a song. Banger
is
of a
banger.
song. It's
It
not
is.
not a knee slapper, but it's definitely like, it's a banger.
Okay, so
It's not
I
a
have
ballad.
closed. I don't know how I got the closed captions on here, so I can see like what you say, and yeah, that was funny. That was funny to read.
I
Because
bet.
it did not come out. You said it was a banger. This said
Did
it
it
was
add an H?
Bangor. It said
Bangor.
Bangor.
Like as in Maine?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
So if you are watching this YouTube video with closed captions,
no, I was not referring to Bangor, Maine. There you go. Hey, Amanda, we're on social media, are we not?
We are on social media.
Where might we be found on social media?
You can find us on Facebook and that site formerly known as Twitter at Cynical Disney. And you can find us everywhere else. So that's going to be Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Pinterest at Cynics on Disney.
And of course, this podcast is brought to you by NotClub33.com. Make sure that you go check out NotClub33.com for all the latest and greatest updates, including this show. Me and Pat hosting the Apocalypse Now show, which has been recorded, just not released yet. And of course, the Notcast released most every Friday.
Any idea when that Apocalypse?
Not a clue. Hopefully soon. We're
okay.
Tweaks. We gotta let Steve work his editing genius. You know.
Yeah, of course.
You know, sometimes that takes a little time. And you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I would rather it be polished and honestly just better quality than the Acolyte. And that's not very hard to do. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, that was so bad. So bad. I don't want to get into it here, but God bless it. It was so bad. Don't do that to yourself. Whatever you do, I'm pleading with you, listener. Pleading with you. Don't watch The Acolyte. Don't do it. I don't know why I pleaded with them like I told them not to do heroin. But I did. And so I move on. Of course, we appreciate you all listening. And if you wouldn't mind dropping us a line in the comments section, subscribing to this here channel, liking this here video, and of course, subscribing wherever you listen to podcasts, be that Apple, Spotify, Google, wherever you might get your podcast. Make sure that you are subscribed, rating us, and reviewing us on those platforms as well. But especially, it's important over here on YouTube, guys, that you do that liking and subscribing and all that crap. You know why? Because it exposes us to more listeners. And especially now that I'm on video, I don't want to be exposed in any other way. So until next time, guys, thank you so much for listening and have yourselves a magical fucking day.